Hey guys, this is Joseph from Play Tennis. Today I'm going to be talking about how to be more aggressive with your tennis. Firstly, why is it important to be aggressive with your tennis? It's going to allow you to take control of the point. And when I say being more aggressive, I'm not talking about getting emotionally crazy and smashing a racket. That's a no-go, guys. Bad tennis etiquette. I'm more talking about the way that you play in a match scenario, okay? So I'm going to give you several key points that's going to help enhance your aggressiveness and improve on your all-round playing style. Key point number one is change your mindset. So when I say this, I want us to be versatile, okay? Be adaptable to the given match situation. Rather than be thinking about just trying to get every ball back into play and wait for the opponent to make a mistake, let's take control. Let's not be a reactor. Let's be an attacker, okay? Now, I'm not saying go and smack every ball that you get, but definitely pounce. Take your chances when you get that short ball or that easy ball. Take that opportunity to control the point. Key point number two is play with more intensity. Put more energy into every point that you play. Think about this. Imagine you playing an opponent that gives their absolute 100% every point, regardless of the score. Whether they're losing or they're winning, they bring that intensity every point. That's going to be pretty intimidating. So if you can play like this, every match you play, and think about every point, play every point as if it was the last point you were ever going to play, is definitely going to add an edge to your game and maybe even scare your opponent off a little bit. Key point number three is improve your footwork. So in order to be able to play more intensity on every point, we need great footwork to be able to get into position so we can execute our attacking shots effectively. If we have sloppy footwork, then we're going to be making more unforced errors. There is a great correlation there. Players with better footwork will generally tend to be better attackers. Key point number four is adding more topspin to your shots. Now, this might come as a surprise, as when we think of playing aggressively, we might be thinking of smacking flat winners. That's a valid view. However, when we look at one of the greatest attacking players of all time, Roger Federer, he incorporates a lot of topspin into his game, whether it be on the forehand side or his backhand side. So key thing to take note of is adding more topspin to your game. Key point number five is taking the ball early. And I'm going to sound like a Roger Federer fan here. In his prime, he was one of, or if not the greatest attacking player in tennis. And one of the reasons for that was because he took the ball early. By taking the ball early, you're going to take away time from your opponent. You're basically going to suffocate them with those heavy, aggressive shots. Key point number six is get into the net. Okay, so whenever you get a chance, short ball, weak ball from the opponent, try and get into the net, finish off the point with an easy volley. So if we hit a nice approach shot, we don't have to smack a winner off that, but we're still being aggressive with our intentions, right? We're hitting that approach shot to get into the net and give us the opportunity to cut the point short with a volley. Key point number seven is take more risks with your shot. So again, we don't have to be smacking winners on every shot. However, it's important that we have intention behind our point play. So we should always be looking for that short ball or that weak ball from the opponent and be willing to take some risk in order to execute a great building shot, take control of the point, or hit a winner. Okay. On top of this, important that you do your drills in your training, practicing your aggressive shots. So when it comes to the match situation, you're best prepared to execute the shots. And I want to add on to this key point is that with taking more risks, we don't want to get afraid of making mistakes. And one of my coaches, when I was a junior, he told me this thing that has stuck with me was that there's a difference between a positive mistake and a negative mistake in tennis. An example of a negative mistake would be I hesitated, I got nervous, and I tensed up on one of my ground strokes and ended up fluffing it into the net with almost no pace. A positive mistake was I would get into position with great footwork, awesome technique, and go for it. Just rip that shot with good aggression, good topspin, and if I missed it by a certain margin, that's okay. We learn from our mistakes. We can try do the shot better next time. But overall, that's a positive mistake because I went for it. I didn't hesitate. So just adding on to key point number 7 is take more risks because we can learn from taking more risks. Key point number 8 is develop a strong serve. If we have a big serve, we can start off the point with a big advantage because we smack that first serve in, opponent just gets it back, gives us weak ball. We can either finish them off with an attacking forehand or get into the net. Pachow, serve volley, Pete Sampras style, win the point. Okay, so it's important that you take time to practice your serve. I see a lot of intermediate players, they focus a lot on just rallying forehand and backhand, and they usually neglect the serve. So try and dedicate 30 minutes to an hour before or after your training session to just practice your serve with a bag of balls or a basket if you have one. Our final key point before we wrap up this video is work on your fitness. I tell this a lot to my intermediate students that want to start competing, and some of them don't like hearing it because sometimes working on your fitness is boring, but extremely important, okay? So some things we just got to do if we want to take our game to the next level, and the fitter we are, the better, because we'll be able to move around the court faster at a higher intensity for longer. So that pretty much wraps up today's video. I hope you found the tips useful. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.